Well, they have found themselves a bit stunned in the fourth quarter. Derek Mason was stunned by a knee to the head. He has been helped off the field, and he'll sit out for an undetermined amount of time while he check to see if that bell's been rung. Meanwhile, it is 3rd and 3 from the 22. McNair out to the left side, and short of the first down, it appears. Wycheck with the catch and getting what might be a favorable spot there. They're going to have to measure. But I don't think Wycheck got nearly what the official just gave him.
I thought he was another half yard or so behind that with his angle diving for the football. But it's funny. I was going to talk about it earlier. Now is a chance as they get ready for a measurement here. The Tennessee Titans, how much will their offensive personality change because of that? And they're going to be a little short. And this is not 4-down territory with 11 minutes to go.
Absolutely.
But they threw 3 straight passes on that drive. No running the ball with Eddie George. Their personality changed ever so slightly because of that big one momentum swinging play. A 90-yard punt return got them a little bit out of the game plan. No reason to change. Give the ball to Eddie. Pound it, pound it, pound it, and do what you've been doing all game.
And going to the pass, obviously, as you said, is out of character. But allowing one thing to happen to change your game plan, that's also out of character for Tennessee.
Absolutely.
They've been amazingly patient and committed.
And emotions are high in a game, so things like that can happen. If I'm Jeff Fisher, I'm going to bring them over the sideline and say, guys, we're only a touchdown down. Let's play solid defense here, get the ball back, and methodically march it down the field as we've proven we can do.
And that worked for them. They were behind a number of times in last year's postseason and always came back. Punt, scrambling around, finally covered. Titans fans think that it touched a Raven, but it didn't, as it was covered on the play by Frank Chamberlain down on the Titans special teams. The Ravens now with the ball and the lead. 10:44 to play in the game from their own 37-yard line, operating with the lead for the first time. Dilfer hands off to Jamal Lewis, who squirts out across the 40.
And boy, he was one step away from doing a lot of damage on that run.
There's the day on Del Greco. The 3 of them go up as misses. 2 of them were blocked, but as we look at those, some low trajectories on those Del Greco kicks. Oh, what a big hit coming up. Marcus Robertson comes up to stop Jamal Lewis in his tracks.
31 on 31 there. Play before that, though. If he breaks that one tackle as he got through the hole, he's still running down the field. Here's the play you just saw. Trying to pick his hole. Lewis excellent at this for a rookie, and there's Robertson, what I call cleaning up that time. Getting to lower that shoulder and get in there. There's Ogden taking care of his man, but the pursuit from other angles whacks him down.
Last time these two teams met, he did some hard hitting. 3rd and 4. Key conversion opportunity here for Baltimore. Dilfer throws short. Oh, it was dropped at the sticks by, of all people, Shannon Sharp. Probably would have had the first.
That is a big drop that time. That would have kept the drive alive and really taken the crowd kind of out of this one. Dilfer does everything right. Patterns run properly. Hits him right in the hands with it. Blaine Bishop is beaten. And Shannon Sharp couldn't hold on.
Now Kyle Richardson has gotten his last 2 punts away, but he had those 2 blocked punts. And with Mason hurt, it is Yancey Thigpen back to return. Now, of course, Mason, the top returner in football this year. Thigpen will give it a go. May see a flag there. And Thigpen is just hammered under. Billy Davis down on the coverage, just swallowing up Thigpen.
Boy, he sure did.
Richardson was hit on the punt as he kicked the ball away.
It appeared that the rusher was blocked into him, though, but the officials are discussing something.
Yeah, if you are blocked into him or deemed to be blocked into him by the officials, then there would be no flag. Now here, Billick. It was 3rd and 4, so if it's merely running into it, would give the Ravens the first down. So any type of penalty. Oh, wait a minute. It's going against Baltimore.
holding, 56 offense. The 10-yard penalty, 4th down.
That is Anthony Davis, backup linebacker and special teamer. So a field position situation here.
I'll tell you, the
change.
Titans were coming, and they were getting some pressure on, and I think that's a good hold.
Yeah.
I'd rather you hold somebody and have us re-kick it than to have the 3rd block of the afternoon against the punter here.
That's a good point. Richardson gets it away. Thigpen saying, get away from it. It takes a great Titan bounce back to about the 40-yard line. A late flag coming in. Ravens are saying it's on the Titans. Now, this would be tremendous field position, about a 30-yard swing, but we'll have to see about the flag.
Well, I don't know what this could be. I think maybe when you see the guy throw the hat off, it usually, now we get a personal foul.
Oh.
Wow. Against the Titans.
And this will cost them some field position. It would be about the 40-yard line that they'd be at.
Personal foul, 37 of receiving team, hit out of bounds, 15-yard penalty, 1st down.
Danon Sidney, the guilty party. So big penalties each way. It'll be Titan ball, down 7 with 9:05 left. Mark Brown along with Eric Clemens. The Ravens are in the lead, and if they win this game, Eric, they could certainly look back to the swing on the block kicks. Each team has blocked 2 kicks, but it is the Ravens that's gotten something out of them.
Here's Sidney. Now, once that gunner on the outside goes out of bounds, Sidney cannot maintain contact with him out of bounds. He has to allow the guy ample room to get back in bounds and try to make a play. He did not, thus the 15-yard penalty.
So suffice it to say that you can't tackle him and sit on him out of bounds.
Absolutely not.
Okay, so Sidney really earned that one.
Otherwise, you'd just get big, strong guys outside there, and they'd push the little guys out of bounds and sit on them and keep them out of bounds, and you get a lot more punt returns that way, I guess.
Certainly would. It cost them 15 yards. They will take over on their 25 instead of on their 40. McNair will throw for the 4th straight time. This time it's complete. Mason is back into the game, and he has a 1st down.
Yeah, again, a little bit out of character, and, you know, maybe they feel a little pressure here. They feel that they have to get things back quickly. But, you know, they have been moving the ball effectively, keeping a balance. Here's Mason. Head might be ringing just a little bit, but he knows how to run a go pattern and stop short. And he's thrown down hard that time by Rod Woodson, but stays out there, and he's having a big afternoon.
From the 35 now. Again, McNair to throw. Complete to Mason again. Out to midfield. Give him 15 yards on that one. The ball hung up a little bit, but Mason seemed to be the only one who knew where it was.
Yeah, and that's 5 straight passes now by the Titans. Talk about a little bit out of character. They want to do things quickly, and they've attacked a lot down the seams this afternoon when they have thrown the ball. Mason the last 2 catches that time.
With Starks on the coverage, but Mason will go out again. So we're going to actually give him to the 49-yard line of Baltimore. Under 8 minutes to play now. Eddie George finally gets another carry off the left side, and he is met in the hole. I believe that was Ray Lewis again.
Yeah, that time Ray Lewis would not let go, and Mason being attended to again by the physicians and trainers on the sidelines is attending to the calf, the left calf area.
Well, when he has 27-plus carries, talking about Eddie George, the Titans have won 23 out of 24 games. But they're going to have to do something special here.
That's one of the few times they've run to the opposite direction, the opposite of the strong side today. They got 2 tight ends in now.
And pulling away from center was McNair, but the ball never came. So
number 9.
No need for a conference here. False start.
Still 2nd down.
And to back him up 5 yards.
I mean, when you're the Tennessee Titans, you're going to run behind the Pro Bowlers off to the left, Hopkins and Matthews. And McNair pulling away from center, but maybe he forgot his own snap count that time. 2nd and 14. You don't want situations like this against this kind of defense, if you can help it. Mason back out there on the field.
Out of the shotgun this time. McNair with plenty of time. George dropped it. It went right to Lewis. He's got some blockers down the left side. Still on his feet, Ray Lewis. Touchdown, Ravens. Their second defensive touchdown of the game. This is unbelievable. Lewis picked off a pass last week as well on a deflection. This time turns it into 6.
Boy, oh boy, you talk about breaks turning the outcome of a game. 6:41 to go. You get a blocked field goal that falls into the hands of your teammate who returns it 90 yards. Now you get a should-be catch by Eddie George, who's got 50 out of the backfield all year. Great hands. Just let it flop out of his hands right there and right into the hands of Ray Lewis, who's been shadowing him all day.
Defensive Player of the Year. Ray Lewis returns the interception, 50 yards for the touchdown. Add that to the 90-yard return of the blocked field goal by Anthony Mitchell, and it all adds up to a 14-point lead for the Ravens. And now only 6:41 left for Tennessee.
Wow, now they have to throw it almost every time and get a quick score. Here's Ray Lewis. His responsibility is to shadow number 27, which he's doing. Ball thrown a little bit behind him, but Ray Lewis is right there. And talk about strength and speed. Watch this. Hopkins coming in. He stays in bounds. There's a little twinkle toes along the sideline and goes in. Ray Lewis could have been a fullback. Here it is one more time. Eddie George will tell you time and time again, that's one I should have held on to, but he did not. And Ray Lewis capitalizes with the return.
The worst year of Ray Lewis's life began at the Super Bowl when he was charged with a double murder. He was found to be not guilty of that through a plea to a much lesser charge. It has turned into his best season as a pro.
And he has had some great ones. He's twice led the NFL in tackles.
Mason. Not the normal aggressiveness on that return. And the Titans will take over. Well, in their first playoff game a year ago, it was a wild card game in Tennessee against Buffalo. They needed the Music City Miracle on the kick return to advance. It then set them on the motion to a Super Bowl trip. But that was only one score needed. Now they need 2 against the top scoring defense anyway.
I tell you what, special teams with a touchdown, defense with a touchdown, offensive points, one blown coverage results in a 55-yard completion. That's all really they've done offensively, but it's a team game.
McNair goes short again to George. Very similar, but George hangs on and wrapped up by Ray Lewis. We showed those numbers, the points off the blocked punt that turned into 7 points. You could make a case that it was 13 because those were both field goals well within Del Greco's range that they took 6 points away on. So the swing might even have been 13.
And he's had low trajectory on just about every kick today. The last one blocked by either Washington or Burnett was blocked, well, really beyond the line of scrimmage. There was not a lot of penetration up the middle for that last block. But the interception, I mean, George will catch that ball 9 out of 10 times. And there's Coach Billick giving Ray Lewis, yeah, you are my main man. You're the guy. Your perseverance today paid off with that interception and a great run back for a touchdown.
And Rob Burnett still being attended to. You know, the Baltimore Ravens are making their first trip to the postseason. Now, they won in their first matchup. And, of course, this used to be the Cleveland Browns, but the history books will show, based on kind of a deal between the NFL and the Cleveland Browns, that the Cleveland Browns' history stopped when they moved to Baltimore and became the Ravens. A new history was begun at that point. Now, confusing matters is once the Browns got another team, Cleveland, they have picked up the old Browns in the record book. So Baltimore Ravens have not been to the playoffs before this year, so they have no playoff history, technically.
And here we go, #1 seeds in the AFC in the last decade. And there you see them.
Wow, only one won the Super Bowl. Of course, the NFC was dominating many of those Super Bowls. McNair complete to George, and George is wrapped up rather quickly.
And they've come back to Eddie twice since he dropped that pass that resulted in the run back for the touchdown, and twice he's held on to it. But they got to do something quickly against this defense, and that's very difficult to do.
It seems that the Titans offense, if they're behind, is a very, very limiting thing. How many short throws over the middle have we seen all game long? McNair has the first down, and that is about it as Rod Woodson comes up to lay the lick on him.
And Rod Woodson was going to lay a hard lick on him, too, to make him think twice about running from here on out. I tell you, when you have excellent defense, you have a chance to win championships, even if you got no offense. And these guys don't have no offense. I mean, they have a pretty decent offensive game plan, but great defense gives you a chance always.
McNair forced to throw short again to Wycheck, who's just got a couple of yards and down 14 points. At some point, Eric, you've got to put the ball down the field.
Yeah, you got to try to do something downfield and gouge him for more than 4 or 5 yards at a crack. Of course, the Ravens want to hold them up and make them run as many plays as possible. There's Rod Woodson really laying the lumber to McNair on the scramble before for the first down.
So 2nd and 5. 9 career interception returns for touchdowns. Tied with Ken Houston is Rod Woodson, clearly headed for the Hall of Fame.
And move to safety this year has really prolonged his career a bit, too, from the cornerback spot.
And how tough does that make the Ravens defense when a Hall of Fame corner, you play him at safety? Through the hands of Chris Sanders. The ball falls incomplete with 4:49 left.
A little high was that pass, but that's one, if it hits the receiver in the hands in a position where he's under control going up for it. And look at this. When the Titans more than double the total yards of the Ravens, but trailing on the scoreboard by 14.
And that is a complete reversal of the yardage trends in this series. The Ravens racked up huge numbers, 360 yards a game, in winning 1 out of the 2 games. It's the Titans who are unable to score rather to get the yardage. Today, the yardage is there for the Titans, but not the points. McNair to George for a first down, and he is taken around by the neck by Woodson, who says, hey, I had to go for something.
He said, what do you want? I didn't grab your face mask. I just hit you high. I gave you a Dick Knight train lane here.
That's right.
Oh, right there around the shoulder. And George almost still stayed on his feet.
Yeah, he almost came right through that.
What strength he has.
It is a 1st and 10 from the 48. Shotgun from McNair. McNair under pressure. Drops it short to George. And you don't find a more sure tackler than Ray Lewis, who stops him again immediately upon the catch.
And going with the no huddle as they should, but methodically kind of driving the ball down the field here. And they know their defense is good enough to stop the Ravens 3 and out, to give them one last chance to tie.
2nd and 3. Shotgun again for McNair. 4-man rush. McNair short to George. He dropped that one right at the sticks.
A little bit low. Guy has all 6'3", 225 pounds of momentum going one direction. The ball's a little low where he has to reach behind him. Very, very difficult catch. It's one Eddie George would tell you I should have held on to, but a tough opportunity that time. 4 down territory anyway. There he is reaching a little bit behind him. Closed those hands a little bit early, and he was ready to run over Corey Harris, the defensive back right there, but just didn't have the football. He's going to go out for a little breather, I believe.
3rd and 3 out of the shotgun. McNair again with a 4-man rush, throws it short, and Wycheck couldn't come up with it, but there is a flag on the play.
And I believe Fred Miller had to hold just to save his quarterback's life that time, because whoever was rushing from the near side, no, defensive holding.
Holding, 35 defense.
Wow.
That's a 5-yard penalty, first down.
As quickly as that flag came in, I thought it was a holding against Fred Miller. You'll see in the secondary there, Mason being held up.
That's Robert Bailey.
But if we could have gotten another angle there, the pass rush by either McCrary or Burnett coming off of that left side of the defense, he got around Fred Miller and was almost in position to kill Steve McNair. I thought that's what they'd call.
22 first downs for the Titans, but they have been very pedestrian. 4 yards, 5 yards, 6 yard plays. McNair will go deep this time. Into coverage. Almost a one-handed catch by Chris Sanders. McAllister saying, hey, he pushed off, and he might have.
Well, it looked like more incidental contact. McAllister was there in position, getting ready to go up for the ball, and Sanders running down. One more look at it. Just a straight go route. Even the tight end down the seams seems to be open. Both guys kind of going down. I think it's a good non-call. Both guys going down. What an incredible catch he almost made, going down with one hand in the end zone. Well, at least they took a shot at the end zone, which we talked about a few plays ago. They have to do something downfield here.
Dilfer has done next to nothing at quarterback for the Ravens. Titan putting up much bigger numbers, but has to throw more often. This time down the right side, under pressure, he just had to unload that.
Yeah, running for his life that time. Now, this is 2-down territory again. And they have a couple opportunities to pick up this 10 yards. And, of course, no fan is going to leave Adelphia Coliseum here, especially with their history of the old home run throwback play that they used to beat Buffalo.
They might need 2 of those today.
Yeah.
That could be asking.
Need a good old-fashioned touchdown right now.
For one miracle too many. This is the 18th game, including postseason, that Adelphia Coliseum has hosted. The Ravens have won 16 of the previous 17. Rather, the Titans have won 16 of the previous 17. The Ravens, the only team to beat them here. They might do it again. McNair had an open receiver but missed him. It'll be 4th and 10.
Now, I tell you, not only will you tire out a defense doing this, but their defense is so punishing here. They'll tire out an offense as well. They hit you and punish you. Here's an overhead look at it. And look at what McNair sees. Not much of anything. So he's going to try to buy himself some time. And he could have run the ball. He had plenty of room out there on the left side, but he opted to keep it and throw downfield.
Well, they will need to convert this 4th and 10 and turn this into a 7-point scoring drive in order to have any chance, you would think. McNair overthrows Thigpen, so the Ravens hold and take over with a 14-point lead.
And with 3:18 to go, not much you're going to be able to do here to try to get 2 scores in that period of time, and I think Steve McNair knows it.
Well, when Steve McNair needed to be at his accurate best, he has been less than that in the second half against the Ravens. Not that the defense has given him much, but he's not been accurate with his balls. And we definitely have shown Eddie George that he dropped that ball that turned into the Ray Lewis interception for a touchdown. But as you pointed out, Eric, the ball was a bit behind him. Lewis for about 4 yards up the middle.
And to state the obvious here, all you want to do if you're Baltimore is hold on to the football, not turn it over. All you want to do if you're the Titans is force a turnover.
Well, we look back to the blocked field goal as Anthony Mitchell came up with it in midair, picked up a block, and took it 90 yards. So a potential 3 for the Titans turned into 7 the other way. And this one, the interception by Ray Lewis, who breaks a tackle down the left side, takes it 50 yards for the score. The 2 big plays of this ball game, the last 2. And that took it from a 10-all game to a 24-10 game in favor of the Ravens.
And that has been the difference. And Eddie George, you can see the total frustration. You know he wants to get back out there and make something happen.
And Eddie George probably will not get 100 yards rushing today.
He probably will not.
So the streak stays intact as an added bonus for the Ravens. Meanwhile, they continue blasting the ball forward with Jamal Lewis. It has not been a particularly stellar game for him or anyone on the Ravens offense. Dilfer 5 for 16.
We talked about it. I've talked about it all game. I'll continue to talk about it. Championship formula. NFL championship formula. Solid to great defense. Balanced offense that can pound you with the run game. But when you get in a situation when you're behind against a great defense and you have that championship philosophy, makes it very difficult for you to come back and make big plays, because that's not how your offense is rounded. Your offense is rounded in controlling the football.
And that's just what the Ravens would like to do here protecting that 14-point lead. It's 3rd and 4. Dilfer rolling out. And he wasn't taking any chances there for throwing that ball away or getting it stripped by Kurse, but he does take a massive loss, which could affect the field position.
Here comes the freak, Carlson. He's just unblocked. Made a great move around the back there, and Trent Dilfer says, hey, I know better than this. I'm not going to try to run away from you guys. I'll go down. We're up by 14 with just over 3 to play. And remember, on special teams, they must have noticed something earlier. Maybe they'll call on Chris Coleman again to try to get his 3rd block of the afternoon. They need something to happen right here.
And Trent Dilfer also has been one of the more mistake-prone quarterbacks in his 7-year NFL career, and maybe finally learned something. Said, I will eat it for the sack. And Jeff Fisher is upset with something. He is screaming, or just was, at Bernie Kukar.
And we talked about that championship formula again. Your quarterback doesn't have to have a great afternoon when you get a special teams return for a touchdown on a blocked field goal. Your defense, which is a great defense, returns an interception for a touchdown. You don't need great performance out of the quarterback. No gimmicks here. Hand the ball to Jamal Lewis. Couple of dink passes here and there. Keep your hands on the football. Don't turn it over to the other great defensive team. And you've got as good a chance to beat anybody in the league that you play if you play solid defense.
All Kyle Richardson has to do here is get this punt off and head it downfield.
You know they're coming after it.
And he goes to the right and gets it away. A pretty good one, too. Takes it bounce sideways around the 30-yard line. And it will roll dead at about the 28 of Tennessee. Uses up some clock as well. 2:34 is all that's left. 2 scores of the touchdown variety are necessary for Tennessee to keep playing this season. They're 72 yards away from one of those 2 scores. McNair with time. Throwing out to the left side. Incomplete. It was intended for Chris Sanders. Broken up on the play by Chris McAllister.
And I tell you, the Ravens are still flying around at the football. Usually you see defensive teams in this kind of situation up 14, 2 to go, play very soft, allow big completions on the sidelines or down the seams in the middle of the field. The Ravens are playing every play like it's still a tie ball game, and they need to hold the other team from scoring. That's what makes them a great defensive unit.
2 of the best defenses in the NFL have been on display today. But it's the ones that have been able to make the big plays that appear to be ready to prevail. McNair, incomplete across the middle.
Look at that. 3 bodies in the area where he was throwing the ball. 3 white shirts, and Woodson diving to try to bat that ball away or intercept it. There's no prevent defense here, or what I'd like to call a permit defense. As you see a lot of times, the prevent just allows the opponent to drive right down the field and get in position. Very aggressive still, even in a prevent mode. They're not going to let anything get behind them from here on out in the rest of this game.
1 catch for 56 yards for Shannon Sharp. He had what we thought might have been a key drop. There would have been a 3rd down to keep a Ravens drive alive, but they've added a score defensively since then. McNair running, spinning, diving forward, may have the 1st down.
Yeah, he gave it to him.
And the question is, no, they will not. Will they try to get off another play before the 2-minute warning? But the Titans cannot get organized in time. 2 minutes left. The Ravens up by 2 touchdowns. From their own 40-yard line, shotgun. And McNair throwing short once again into big-time coverage. Dwayne Starks was there along with his backup, James Trapp, as we're seeing 6 and 7 defensive backs now.
Yeah, they're still going to have to force something down. You can't take all the time off the clock scoring this 1 touchdown if you get it. Again, 2 bodies around the football, and very, very good defensive play by a very, very good defensive team.
Same situation now. 3 receivers out to the left side, 1 to the right. And McNair under pressure, and he will go down. Sam Adams comes up with the sack.
And now he went for his right shoulder that time on that sack after Boulware came and cleaned up and got a hard shot on him as he was going down there. And watch Boulware. Bam. Right on the shoulder, but McNair's going to stay out there.
3rd and 14 now. The sack for Sam Adams. Only had 2 on the season, but he beat Kevin Long straight up with just a 3-man rush, no less. McNair still looking. Flags flying. Probably a hole. And he just throws it away, does McNair.
Not one soul on that Ravens sideline is concerned that any team in the National Football League is going to get 14 points against that defense in a minute 23 seconds.
71 offense. Penalty is declined. 4th down.
And you certainly can't blame them. They declined the penalty because it's still a long way to go. 14 yards. Marvin Lewis. Wow. If they have Defensive Coordinator of the Year awards, which they don't, but maybe they should, you got to look at that guy for one of them.
Now, I saw what's generally considered one of the greatest defenses ever. Of course, Steel Curtain defenses, the Bears defense of their Super Bowl team of '85 and even a couple of years after that. But they had dominant players. This Ravens defense doesn't necessarily have a bunch of dominant players who just physically overman their opponents, but they just have a lot of darn good ones. Tony Siragusa with the sunglasses on the sideline. Time to party in Baltimore.
I wonder what that... Oh, it's because of Fisher wearing the sunglasses. I get it. A little mock there. Future's so bright, they got to wear shades for the Ravens. And, well, we're making it official anyway, at least to promote it here on the network. The Baltimore Ravens, in about a minute and 20 seconds, will officially be going to Oakland to take on the Raiders in the AFC Championship game.
Now, you talk about this, and you see Baltimore with 2 close victories over Oakland in their brief history of meeting one another. Brian Billick getting hugs. But the Ravens, talk about a championship formula, which we've been talking about really all game long. 6 first downs for the game on offense. That matches an NFL record for low first downs in a playoff game established by the Giants in '61. They lost against the Green Bay Packers, but 6 first downs for an offense wins you a game because you have a great defense.
You would assume that the 6 first downs by the Giants would be in a loss, and you'd probably assume the same thing here 39 years later, but not so. The Ravens, through special teams, big plays, and, of course, the tremendous defense, is not only going to win, they're going to win by 2 touchdowns. Trent Dilfer kneels down, and they will not need to do it again. Ray Lewis, one of the heroes today, making tackles all over the field and returning an interception 50 yards for a touchdown. And the congratulatory handshakes have already taken place. No more plays need be run. The final seconds being ticked off as Baltimore becomes only the 2nd team, and they were the 1st team to beat Tennessee. They've done it twice now in Adelphia Coliseum. The only 2 losses in 18 games played in this stadium. It's a final 24-10. Brian Billick and the Ravens knocked the team with the best record in the NFL right out of the playoffs in their own building. 24-10 is the final.
It's positively Edgar Allan Poe, isn't it? This the Coliseum curse of the Ravens. They've only gone and done it again, Mike.
Absolutely, and you know, Trent Dilfer's stats would be a little bit more good-looking if Shannon Sharpe had held on to a couple of balls. But Brian Billick knew why the Ravens had won.
Folks, when you go into the Lions' den, you don't tippy-toe in. You carry a spear, you go in screaming like a banshee, and you kick it, you kick whatever door's in and say, "Where's the son of a bitch?" If you go in any other way, you're going to lose. Somebody has forgotten that they had to fight their way up there that way last year. Go back and check your records as the way they approached being the underdog, having to go on the road, having to go into Jacksonville, and you'll see a lot of the same things. Passion, respect for their opponent. Our guys are respectful of them. They really are.
We did exactly what we needed to do offensively, defensively. Had some opportunity on special teams, and it didn't happen for us today. I guess today the Baltimore Ravens, Coach Billick and his staff were the better team, and we wish them luck the rest of the way through the playoffs.
I was a big part of the loss. I don't think I'm the whole reason for the loss, obviously, but you know, as I said, I would have never in a million years imagined a game like this for me.
And they made him wear the loser's jumper as well, would you believe? That's a bit unfortunate, wouldn't it, really? There you go.